The annals of history are replete with figures who, through their actions and rhetoric, have profoundly influenced their societies. Two such figures from disparate epochs are Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States, and the Gracchi brothers, Tiberius and Gaius, reformist tribunes of the Roman Republic in the 2nd century BCE. While separated by millennia and vast cultural differences, these figures share striking similarities in their populist appeals, reform agendas, and the polarizing effects they had on their respective societies. Both Donald Trump and the Gracchi brothers rose to prominence by positioning themselves as champions of the common people against the established elites. Trump's 2016 presidential campaign was characterized by his appeal to the forgotten men and women of America, particularly targeting disaffected working-class voters who felt marginalized by globalization and economic shifts. His rhetoric often pitted these real Americans against the swamp of Washington insiders and the media, framing himself as an outsider who could disrupt the status quo. Similarly, Tiberius and Gaius Gracchus sought to address the growing economic inequalities and social injustices of their time. The Gracchi brothers recognized the plight of the Roman plebeians, who were being squeezed out of their lands by the wealthy elite and facing economic destitution. Tiberius Gracchus's proposal of the Lex Sempronia Agraria aimed to redistribute public land to the poor, directly challenging the patrician landholders. Like Trump, the Gracchi used populist rhetoric to galvanize support from the masses, portraying themselves as defenders of the common people against an entrenched and corrupt aristocracy. Central to both Trump's and the Gracchi brothers' platforms were their ambitious reform agendas aimed at restructuring their societies. Trump's presidency saw efforts to overhaul immigration policy, renegotiate trade deals, and dismantle regulatory frameworks that he argued stifled economic growth. His America First doctrine sought to realign U.S. foreign and domestic policies to prioritize American workers and industries. The Gracchi brothers, particularly Tiberius, pursued land reform as a means to rectify economic inequalities and restore the traditional Roman smallholder class. Tiberius's agrarian law proposed to limit the amount of public land one could hold and redistribute excess land to the poor. Gaius Gracchus expanded on these reforms by introducing measures such as subsidized grain prices and infrastructural projects aimed at alleviating poverty and unemployment. Both Trump and the Gracchi faced significant resistance to their reform agendas. Trump's policies often met with fierce opposition from both Democrats and establishment Republicans, leading to numerous legal and political battles. The Gracchi's reforms provoked the ire of the Roman Senate and the elite, culminating in violent confrontations that ultimately led to their deaths. The legacies of Trump and the Gracchi brothers are marked by deep societal polarization and political conflict. Trump's tenure exacerbated existing political divides in the United States, leading to heightened partisan tensions, social unrest, and significant debates over the direction of the country. His confrontational style and often incendiary rhetoric deepened the chasm between his supporters and opponents, leading to a tumultuous political climate that continues to resonate. The Gracchi brothers' efforts to redistribute wealth and power also polarized Roman society. Their reforms threatened the interests of the patrician class, leading to intense political strife and violence. The assassination of Tiberius Gracchus in 133 BCE, followed by the death of Gaius a decade later, underscored the deadly stakes of their reformist agenda. Their attempts to shift the balance of power in favor of the common people sparked a period of social upheaval that contributed to the eventual decline of the Roman Republic. While Donald Trump and the Gracchi brothers lived in vastly different times and contexts, their similarities are striking. Both harnessed populist rhetoric to challenge established elites, pursued ambitious reform agendas aimed at addressing economic and social inequalities, and left behind legacies of deep political polarization. The stories of Trump and the Gracchi serve as powerful reminders of how leaders can mobilize popular support to effect change, but also how such efforts can lead to significant societal division and conflict. Through their actions, both sets of figures have indelibly shaped the political landscapes of their respective eras.